Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Big and Solid Movie Review Show. We are back. With me, as always, is Big Red. Hello.
What's up, guys?
Hello. Maximus is with us.
How's it going?
Just fine. Today is May 29th. We're going to give a review of the new Star Trek Into Darkness, starring Chris Pine, Zachary, Quinto, Zoe Saldana. It's 132 minutes, rated PG-13. I'm going to play a little clip, and we're going to jump right into it. Here we go. This one is Star Trek Into Darkness.
You think you can't make mistakes, but the choices you make could get yourself and everyone under your command killed. But I believe in you, Jim. Darkness is coming. This could just be the beginning.
Beginning of what?
All-out war.
I request permission to go after him. I cannot allow you to do this.
Jim, you're not actually going after this guy, are you?
Let's go get this son of a bitch.
You are a poem, Kirk.
Sir, there's a ship heading right for us.
Can't even guarantee the safety of your own crew. Now, shall we begin?
And there's your teaser for Star Trek Into Darkness. This is the 12th Star Trek film that has ever been made, the second in the reboot of a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I guess the description of this is after the crew of the Enterprise finds an unstoppable force of terror within their own organization, Captain Kirk leads a manhunt to a war-zone world to capture this one-man weapon of mass destruction. Fellas, what do you think of this one? Star Trek Into Darkness, the first of many summer blockbusters hitting the screens.
It was all right. I don't think I was quite as in love with it as a lot of people were, but it seemed to just have a bunch of action crammed into it, and there wasn't really as good of a story. And what did you think?
More on the action and a lot less on the character development in this one, unless, Kirk and Spock pretty much had their characters kind of evolve some, but the rest of the cast is pretty much doing their characters of the old crew.
Light the fuse and let's go. Bang, bang.
The movie is really nonstop, and when you're in the moment, I was entertained, but then when you, after the theater, you're thinking about it, there was quite a bit of plot holes in the movie.
And just parts that were not as well done as they could have been. It seemed a little rushed.
It seems they use the transporters as a crutch, like when they need to jump up the story. Oh, well, they don't work right now, do they?
Yeah.
Just seemed like the transporters wouldn't work whenever they needed them to, which, like I said, it wasn't. I was entertained in the theater watching it, and the cast, as always, was great. Pine is just killing it as Kirk.
The best part about what was that reboot, the Star Trek, they restarted, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
About 4 years, actually,
4 years ago. Yeah, they seemed like they did a real good job casting, better than anything with it, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
As far as bringing back the interest and such. But I was kind of curious about this one, if it was, did you see it in IMAX? Or
I did not. They only had IMAX 3D, and I'm not a big fan of 3D.
And the glasses,
I just saw it in regular.
I don't think I can do many more 2.5 hour long 3D movies, because I just end up with a headache about halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree there. I thought her and this was just pretty awful.
She probably wasn't really used a whole lot.
She wasn't, and the whole
not the strongest female character.
The whole Spock relationship,
Did they try to spin that off because that was such a big deal, kind of in the first?
Well, it's like
one?
they're having their relationship issues, and as they're going off the battle, that's when she like picks the time to start nagging on him. It's like, really? She came across just kind of as a nag in it, and it wasn't a real great role for her. Scotty gets probably of the rest of the crew gets his screen time bumped up considerably in this, and
That's
Simon
true.
Pegg I thought he did a great job, and Carl Urban is just nails bones.
Did this have a lot of, but for fans of maybe the traditional Star Wars and traditional movies with the battles in space involving the Enterprise and all that, was there quite a bit of good space excitement?
There really wasn't a lot of spaceship battles.
Yeah.
There's more hand-to-hand combat, more stuff like that.
Yeah, now I think about it, they really weren't in space for much of the movie at all.
Yeah, they kind of just traveled to a destination, and then the action kind of took
back and forth.
Yeah. But this movie kind of, the original goal of Starfleet was to explore.
Yeah.
And this one, there's a nice kind of story about, Starfleet getting into maybe the war business, which and I thought that was a great scene early in the film with Scotty, pleading with Kirk not to do something and say, we're explorers, not.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very good contrast to the story. And I like what they're doing with Kirk in this, being more of a kind of the arrogant, fly by the seat of your pants, because he in this timeline he was raised with no father, so he's a little more loose cannon than probably the Shatner version.
Yeah. Well, Shatner was pretty loose cannon too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty interesting. I don't want to go into any spoilers or anything for anybody, but was the bad guys? Did they sell it, or the bad guy?
I actually thought Khan was the best part of the movie. I think they chose a good, relatively unknown in the
Benedict
States actor.
Cumberbatch, I believe that's how you say his name. Mainly,
I wasn't going to attempt it.
Mainly known for playing Sherlock Holmes in the BBC series, which
British.
that is available on Netflix, and I've watched some of that. And
is it him and Martin Freeman?
Yes, but my good big time. I liked him and all that, but it was kind of like, they didn't really choose an actor that reminded me of Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah.
Originally they were talking about Benicio del Toro, and I could kind of see.
Yeah.
But we've kind of got a British guy playing Khan, and I kept thinking back to the original Wrath of Khan movie, and
So did they think they set it up for more of these to come? Will we see 13?
Well, there's
13
definitely more to come. There's definitely more to come. I did one upgrade I also enjoyed, like the first Star Trek movie. It seemed like the head of Starfleet was Tyler Perry, who they've replaced with Peter Weller, which was a nice. Much rather see RoboCop in my movie than Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry presents Star Trek 3.
Yeah. So as sequels go, I thought it was a very acceptable sequel. Yeah. You can do a whole lot worse.
I'm pretty judgmental on the sequels nowadays, because every other movie that hits the theater is either part 6 or 7 or a reimagining of some sort.
Yeah, there's no new character development or new characters in general.
What did you think on some of the twists to the stories in this? Because,
pretty predictable, I thought.
Exactly.
I didn't even really consider them twists, because I think everyone that was watching pretty much knew exactly where the movie was headed.
Well, I think fans that have seen the old movies, I would say people that hadn't seen that were probably shocked at some of the stuff that was happening.
But overall, it was...
Yeah, and that's the one thing I really didn't understand, their whole marketing of the movie, why they were keeping Khan such a secret. For people like us who have seen the old Star Trek, you knew who the bad guy was. You could tell it early in the movie and then, for the people that didn't know or hadn't seen, when he says says his real name Khan, it's going to be kind of lost on them. So I don't really quite get the whole secrecy that.
Well, and I never really watched the old series or movies or anything, but just through fan, fan
Well,
things I know.
Yeah, the Wrath of Khan movies are pretty. It's probably by far the best Star Trek movie of all of them.
The best of debate between that and 4. There was some different stuff.
But 4 is a little more lighthearted.
It was lighter, but the Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan was
it doesn't have Khan. It doesn't have Kirk yelling Khan.
Yeah, it was totally
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but it was,
And the ending of 2 is pretty killer with Spock, sacrificing
yeah, it was
himself.
a big, yeah,
that was big.
Yeah, it was really big in the
Oh,
race.
and Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember that as a kid. The whole, oh my God, they killed Spock.
Spock, are you out of your fucking mind?
So yeah, it's been quite the transition. This how long this franchise has kept running, and I'm assuming somebody in Gene Roddenberry's family is still owning it, but I'm not. I'm not 100% on that.
I'll be real curious to see where they go next, especially with
The
J.J.
direction,
Abrams moving to
the
Star Wars. I'm
and-
just kind of curious who will maybe take this over and.
And what's happening from there, but yeah.
Well, it's going to be a while. He seems to put about 3 or 4 years between each of his movies. So. I'm still waiting on a Cloverfield sequel, so.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, I guess, guys,
Well, we should probably
what's
do a
your
can
Vulcan
rating.
minds say on the can rating for this one here? Star
I
Trek
guess
Into Darkness.
I'd go a solid 4 cans. I say in the moment, the movie's entertaining. The cast is great. The story had a few little surprises in it, and also, by far, I'd give it 4 cans.
I think I'm right there with you. 4 cans. There was definitely more that I liked that I didn't like, and it was entertaining. I was really pumped when I left the theater, but then after I let it resonate for a bit, there was a few things that
why did they have to
nitpicked.
put the Enterprise underwater at the
What-
beginning?
what-
That made absolutely no sense.
What was the reaction of the fans or the people in the theater when did they seem to enjoy it when they were leaving, or were they kind of like, or was it indifferent? Any reaction at all?
Well, I was sitting next to my sister during the movie, so she had her "oh my god" face on through just about the entire thing. She was quite shocked by a lot of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, 4 cans for Star Trek Into Darkness.
Spock, are you out of your fucking mind?
We'll be right back with more. We're coming up on a break on the Big and Tall Movie Review Show.